How can we avoid either of these two conditions?
Well, look, it all stems from the first point in oral hygiene.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're really strict about the way you look after your teeth, I mean, it's quite a simple formula. You brush morning and night for 2 minutes. You floss every night, no exception.
I think a lot of people have trouble with the floss part.
Yeah. We can come back to that, but that's the one part people lapse in, is they don't floss. But that is absolutely paramount. In my opinion, it's actually more important than brushing.
Why?
Because the brush only really gets to about 40 to 50% of the areas in your mouth. And your mouth and your body is actually a self-cleansing tool. So your tongue and your lips and your cheek and your saliva actually flushes off plaque naturally. So you've got to brush your teeth, obviously, to get rid of that plaque, but it's in between the teeth. That's where it really impacts. It's in those little corners and difficult places that you get the plaque buildup. And the only way to remove that is with dental floss. So if you're not flossing, you're leaving behind a lot of dirt, and that's going to then build up until it really can affect the gums, cause infection, and lead to these conditions, gingivitis and periodontitis, as I spoke about earlier. So flossing is paramount. So if you're a diabetic, first of all, okay, your type 1 diabetic patients, they know they're diabetic. They were kind of born with this condition. Their pancreas doesn't produce enough insulin, so they have to have the insulin. So they're fine because they know how to manage themselves. It's the ones that don't know. And as I said before, their diet is poor, and that leads then again to severely affecting the oral cavity.
Now, what products would you recommend for diabetics who experience mouth ulcers? We spoke earlier about mouth ulcers. How do we prevent those? Is there anything we could use?
You see, a mouth ulcer naturally will just disappear in 10 days. They're not sinister. They're just very uncomfortable and horrible to live with. There's a product called Bye Mouth Ulcer. That's BYE Mouth Ulcer. It's a fantastic product. It's actually completely inert, so it won't affect anything that's happening in your mouth. And how it works is it's actually just a film that covers the ulcer and forms like a plaster over the ulcer, allowing that to heal from underneath. Because as I said, they are self-limiting. They will heal on their own, but this Bye Mouth Ulcer just speeds it up, really keeps it protection, and then it heals within about 3 or 4 days. So yeah, being prone to mouth ulcers as a diabetic patient would be just simply from your immunodeficiency, then that is a fantastic product to use.
Now, I often hear people saying that if you use mouthwash regularly, you don't have to floss. I think you're going to say that that's a myth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, look, think about cleaning any surface. Okay, it's a mechanical action. You've got to clean it. Not to say you need to be aggressive, but you've got to physically remove the dirt. I mean, I use an example as like a stack of dishes. So you've just had this dinner party, stack of dishes full of food. You just go rinse them under the tap and put them in the cupboard. I mean, they're not clean. You got to wipe them clean. You got to make sure they're clean, and then you put them away. Same with your teeth. And you use your teeth to eat all day, every day. So you've got to make sure that every surface of that tooth is clean, is polished, and is free from plaque. And if you maintain that, you will really stay away from me and our tools for a very long time.
A lot of people want to stay away from you,
unfortunately. It's not a pleasant place to be, lying upside down with your mouth open. But if you follow those simple rules and simple instructions, it can be managed. Look, coming and having a cleaning done is very important, because no matter how meticulous you are, what happens is there's quite a lot of calcium in your saliva, and that can tend to create this calcified or hard plaque, which you can now stand in the mirror and brush for 5 hours, 6 hours. You're not getting that stuff off.
Yeah.
It's there. It's bonded to your tooth. So you've got to come to the hygienist. They use special tools and instruments to remove that stuff, so that it helps you just maintain that. So 2 visits a year with a hygienist if you're pretty strict with your home routine. If you're not strict with your home routine, come more often. But really, it's all about prevention. And if you try and prevent things from getting out of control, then they won't. So yeah.
Are there any special treatments that people with type 2 diabetes should have or should request from their dentist?
Yes. Look, I mean, as a professional, we train first of all to look at their condition and then say, right, we got to put you on a type of management program. So as I said, if you're type 2 diabetes and you know you are, you've got to first of all be treated by an endocrinologist, someone who's going to give you the right medication for your diabetes, and then also come and have your teeth cleaned every 3 months at least, so that you don't develop this periodontal condition which can become accentuated. The other thing which I haven't mentioned is actually that healing in diabetic patients is delayed. So if you have to have a tooth pulled, if you have to have any like invasive dental surgery, your healing is delayed. So you can come into a compromised healing phase, which can become quite uncomfortable. So you want to avoid that. We don't want to pull out teeth from diabetic patients because you'll suffer in the healing process. So you really want to make sure everything stays healthy and intact.
Dr. Sher, thank you for coming in and sharing. How can everyone find you should they want to come in for a cleaning?
You can send me an email. It's Mark, M-A-R-C, @drmarksher.co.za. My practice is in Sea Point in the medical center on the 6th floor. So come up and you can pop me an email if you have any questions, and I'll give you my practice number and we can take it from there.